Hi everyone. For my demonstrative speech, I am going to be presenting how to make a nutritious smoothie for brand new moms. So when you're coming out of labor and delivery, your hormones are literally a roller coaster and your body needs to be able to replenish the nutrients that it lost in giving birth. So after my first daughter, it wasn't so terrible, but with my second, man, I found myself really struggling. And so I started kind of doing some research into, well, what supplements can I take to help me feel better? What's going to help me be able to provide for my daughter? For breastfeeding moms, this is a huge deal. In order to provide, you need to take care of yourself. I really didn't find a whole lot on the internet that was helpful outside of, well, drink this tea and, get some sleep. That, sure, I mean, unless you're leaving the cup of tea warmed up in the microwave for hours because you keep forgetting about it. So I wanted to find something that was nutritious and that I was able to make quickly so that I could just throw it all together, get some nutrition in me. That way I'd have some power for a little bit. So I kind of put this recipe together myself. It's not something that is terribly sweet because it's not really my thing, but it does provide a lot of nutrients and some unexpected ones. So for our smoothie, of course, we have our main ingredients, strawberries and blueberries, because you got to get some of the sweet flavor in there. Now, as my base, I usually use light yogurt and some orange juice. All right, now outside of that, we have our, of course, banana and an apple. Now, these next few things are things that I add in. I did some research and was able to find some positive things about them. So the first, when I had my kids, I found this thing, it's called the postpartum shed. So your hair starts like falling out like crazy, especially if you've had daughters. So in addition to that, I found I was really achy. My joints were really kind of sore. So collagen, brewer's yeast, and finally ground flaxseed. Now these two are primarily for breastfeeding moms because it can help somehow boost your production there. So I am your run-of-the-mill mom. I really don't have a whole lot of fancy gadgets. So usually where we would use a mortar and pestle for the brewer's yeast, I get a little creative. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're gonna do right over here, we are going to start by preparing the strawberries. Now, I did already wash these and put them back. I do always recommend washing all fruits and vegetables that you purchase from the grocery store, just as a precaution. So you don't have to slice your strawberries, but I do. I have a bit of an older blender, so it makes it a little easier for her to get the job done. Now, it depends on your preference as to how sweet you want your smoothie. I usually put in about 3 strawberries. That usually does the trick. Now, if you're doing more than 1 serving, of course, you can increase the amount that you use. Now, bananas are full of all kinds of nutrients, so I usually use a whole banana. Now, outside of smoothies, I usually will not eat a banana. So if you're like me and just really don't appreciate them a whole lot, this is a good way to get those nutrients. Now, same thing with banana, pretty sweet. So just kind of stick that in there. Now, apples, this one I'm actually going to cheat a little bit. Now for the apple, I only use a couple pieces just because if you're making a smoothie, you want to try and get the skin off. And so you're just kind of peeling it here. The skin would not go great in your smoothie. It could be a potential choking hazard, I would think. So we're just going to go ahead and, fly away apple. Take that off there. So for the sake of time, we'll go ahead and leave those out for now. No big deal. Now your blueberries, These I usually just do a little bit of a handful, but I'm not going to take them out yet because it usually stains your fingers a little bit. So let's take a look here at brewer's yeast. So the daily dosage is 2. So I'm going to go ahead and just use my creative little gadget here and just grind that right on up. See? Presto, easy. Now for your collagen, it says on the instructions that you want to use 1 scoop. So we are just going to use 1 scoop. And then for flaxseed, you want to be really careful how much of this you use because it can help aid in digestion. So we're just going to take just a little bit of that. Okay, now that we're all set there, let's go ahead and get a little bit of blueberries. The rest of our fruit here. Yogurt, orange juice. Let's move right on over to our next workstation. So we are going to essentially take our fruit and powders, stick them right in the blender. And then next we're going to take our yogurt. We are just going to go ahead and take this whole thing, just kind of pour it, here, let's see, pour it right here in the blender. Here we go. Now if you want to use a different kind of yogurt, go ahead and experiment different juices. I tend to stick with orange juice just because it gives that little boost of vitamin C. So just a little splash there. Okay. So here you have a calorie-friendly, for the most part, recipe for a smoothie that will help you bounce back and hopefully aid with your breastfeeding adventure. So that's how you do it, and then you just kind of blend it. See here? So after it's blended, pour, stick a straw in it, and serve.